Welcome to 1 Minute Wins with Dr. Dana Martin, the podcast where intentional growth meets practical leadership. One quote, one lesson, one action to help you lead yourself and others better. Let's jump in. Howdy and welcome back to 1 Minute Wins. I am Dr. Dana Martin, and today's episode, of course, matches the book 1 Minute Wins, Volume 1. Take control of your growth journey 1 minute at a time. Available on Amazon.com. Number 56, Pursue Excellence. This is one near and dear to my heart because as much as I want to be excellent, it's so hard to consistently try. And the reality is, being average is easy. Think about that for a second. If you've ever thought it's easy to be average, you're who needs to hear this today. Excellence is intentional. No one wakes up and accidentally I just produced some excellent work. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't show up by chance. Excellence does not show up by chance. Aristotle said excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention. Now, even as I wrote that, or I didn't write the quote, you know what I mean, making my notes for this show. And I took pause. I'm breaking from the script here. I took pause, and as I read it just now, I took pause again. I'm going to read that line, and I want you to really marinate on this. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention. When I think about that quote, I think about if I'm sitting in front of my computer, let's say playing a video game. I can work really hard and become good at that video game, but it takes consistency to be excellent at it. And now I think about that same hour and a half I might spend playing video games. What if I were to listen to a podcast, take some notes on a book and read? Something that is more edifying and whole for me. Now, I'm not saying I can just stop playing video games. My goodness, I'm a Gen Xer. This is a part of who I am, but I'll never be excellent at anything unless I'm intentional about being excellent. You know, whether you're leading a team or building something new or growing personally, excellence is built choice by choice. Each choice you make, another brick in the path, in the journey, on the road that you're following. So today we're talking about just how deliberate decisions can shape exceptional outcomes. Excellence is built through deliberate daily choices. It's not through talent alone. Sure, talent helps. It's not through occasional effort, not through bursts of motivation. Excellence forms when leaders consistently choose the harder, higher standard. The gap between average and excellence is rarely dramatic. It's usually one extra layer of effort. Preparation for this presentation instead of winging it. Following through instead of just assuming that the communication went through. Clarity instead of convenience. All of those things, if you're making a conscious, intentional effort to choose, that excellence will quietly compound. I once worked with a team that had strong potential, but extremely inconsistent results. Nothing was really broken, like catastrophic, right? But the details just weren't tight. It was almost like a jazz band, right? They can go off and do their own thing, but they have to be in sync or it sounds terrible. That's how this team was. The details weren't tight. Deadlines were met, but it was barely. Communication was done, but you could tell in the messaging it was rushed. And standards were hit barely. We didn't overhaul any strategy. We simply took a step back and elevated expectations and did it verbally. 1 degree higher, clearer communication, sharpen our preparation, stronger follow-up. Those 3 things, and over time, the reputation of that team changed. And not because of a massive shift or move in culture, but because of consistent elevation. Excellence wasn't dramatic, it was very deliberate. Here's some research to reinforce this. A study published in Psychological Science found that deliberate practice, that's focused, structured effort aimed at improvement, is the strongest predictor of high performance across fields. So top performers don't just repeat actions, they refine them. Additionally, research by Anders Ericsson demonstrated that elite performance consistently correlates with intentional practice over time, not raw talent. Excellence doesn't appear randomly. Excellence is engineered. I'm going to say that again. Excellence is engineered. That's amazing. That means that there's got to be some road mapping to excellence. Well, I'm glad you said that. That's a great segue. The book I'm writing right now, Be the Example, 7 Steps to Emulate Excellence. Hopefully, well, I'll have that completed by the summer. Excellence is something that can be created. It's not just something that automatically happens. Now, Aristotle has a quote that pertains to this. Quality is not an act, it's a habit. Excellence doesn't show up once, it shows up repeatedly. Leaders don't create excellent cultures through their speeches. They create it through their standards and following through and showing clear, consistent work every day, being the example. And what you tolerate, that's what becomes your ceiling. There have been seasons where I caught myself kind of settling. This is good enough. I felt efficient, close enough, and I felt practical. But excellence doesn't respond to convenience. The moments that shaped my leadership the absolute most were the ones where I upgraded the standard. Quietly, I didn't make a production of it. I didn't announce that this is how I'm going to do things moving forward. No. 10 extra minutes in preparation for this presentation. Read this through and think of how my agent or my team members would receive the message. Stronger clarity. And be disciplined myself. If I say I'll get something out by a certain time via email, by golly, I better have it 5 minutes early. Excellence didn't require me to be perfect, but it did require me to be intentional. So how do we do this every day? This is not a secret in the book that's being written, although this information is in the book, so you're getting a little peek. Number 1, define the standard. You can't pursue excellence if you don't clarify it. Number 2, improve one layer. Not everything, just one detail. Number 3, remove any excuses. Excellence and rationalization cannot coexist. And number 4, repeat consistently. Intensity can fade, but routine will sustain. So what are those? Number 1, define the standard. Number 2, improve just one layer, one detail. Number 3, remove excuses. And number 4, repeat consistently. Excellence grows through repetition, not inspiration. So, what are you settling for in your professional life, in your personal life? What are you settling for average? Not in a dramatic way. Maybe it's a real subtle way. In a real subtle way, maybe where has good enough replaced what should be your best. I think our action for today is pretty clear. Upgrade one action to excellence today. One email, one meeting, one decision, one conversation, one directive. Raise that standard just by 1 degree and watch the results occur through consistency. Excellence signals respect. Respect for the work, respect for the team, respect for the mission. And when leaders consistently pursue excellence, their teams follow. And a culture is developed that's unstoppable. If you are going to settle as a leader, then that culture is just going to settle too. Standards cascade, good or bad. Let those standards cascade of excellence. If this episode sharpened your focus a little bit or made you kind of take another look at some things or think it might resonate with others, share it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And go check out the book I mentioned at the beginning, 1 Minute Wins, Take Control of Your Growth Journey 1 minute at a time, available on Amazon.com. You can head on over to my website, dmilm.com, and you can reach out to me there or look at some other resources or just peruse the website. Whatever you do, have a fantastic day, and always remember, be the example.